This is Abaya from Scrappy Mania, and I'm going to create a layout. Now what I'm doing is I have some pictures that were given from my husband aunt gave these pictures to him. So I'm going to go ahead and scrap all these pictures. I did do a digital copy of them, but I want to scrap the originals so that way I can preserve it. And I'm going to be using a lot of photo tabs and photo corners and things like that to adhere them to the page. I'm not going to adhere it with glue. And then I decided to use this paper pack by Die Cut with a View, the heirloom stack. And here are the papers. And they're pretty nice. Look at that one. You really don't need a lot for these papers. So, and I cut a lot of these embellishments, but you'll see in a moment that because the paper is kind of thin, I did back it with some of my cardstock, or actually cardboard. So these boxes are the ones I got a bunch of these for Christmas, and they will come from Kohl's. So these are the shirt boxes, and those are excellent to create like this one. Here's the postcard, and I backed it with that cardstock, and it makes it nice and sturdy. So what I did is a lot of this paper, like this one, I cut it all out. And here's another one that I cut out. I cut out some bingo cards. I also cut out some embellishments from here. And then I'm going to use the papers that I'm going to be using are this paper. I also cut out some of these, and then I cut out a lot of these embellishments from here. And as you can see, the papers are pretty nice for these type of layouts, of heritage layouts. And because the paper is kind of flimsy, I'm going to back it with my cardstock. So I'm going to go ahead and speed up the video. So here I'm using a glue stick to adhere all my layers down, because I get a better adhesion with glue stick than if I use my regular tape runner. So the only thing, when you use the glue stick, you cannot really easily pull it up. So as you can see, it really didn't square on my base page or my white cardstock, so you just cut off the excess. And also another thing, when you do use glue stick to adhere all your layers, you need to kind of keep in mind the order of your layers, because you're not going to be able to pull them up as easily as if you were using dot adhesive. So now I'm using vintage photo to ink my edges, and I'm kind of figuring out how the order of the layers, because that's very important to kind of figure out what I'm going to adhere first, because like I said, once I glue it down, I'm not going to be able to pull it apart. So a lot of the embellishments are strictly from the paper that I cut out and backed it with my shirt box. So this is going to be the belly band of my page. So I'm adhering it down with some more glue stick. And then I'm going to, pretty soon you'll see me pulling out my handheld sewing machine, which is that little sewing machine that I got from Kmart. Actually, it was Walmart. And it was not very expensive. It was less than 20 bucks. And it's perfect for crafting, because you really don't have to bring out your big sewing machine. And it does do a nice job on doing a straight stitch. The disadvantage of this is that it only does straight stitch. It doesn't do any fancy stitches. You can only go in about 1.5 inches into the page. So if you want to stitch an embellishment in the middle of the page, you won't be able to do it. And it doesn't backstitch, so you really have to glue all your tails down. Otherwise, it unravels easily. So what I usually tend to do, if I'm going to be stitching multiple layers, I stitch each layer individually, and then I adhere it down on my page. So here you just kind of sew off the page, and then you just tape it to the back. So now I'm putting some more of my layers down. And sorry if you hear some um, kind of congestion in the background. I'm coming down with a cold, so that's why I'm having a little hard time with the audio of this video, but we'll get through it. So here I'm kind of sewing some more. I want to sew that little um, layer down. And that's actually from the paper itself, also from another page in that paper stack. And that paper stack was very, I really like it. It's going to be great for all my vintage photos because it has a lot of icons. It has a lot of designs, and the colors are muted, so they're nice and soft. So I really like this paper pad. And it's economical because since a lot of the icons, it has a lot of icons and embellishments already within the paper, I don't have to buy extra stickers or extra embellishment to kind of make my page look good. So here I'm placing a lot, those cards, those playing cards are part of the paper. That life is good is part of the paper. That clock is part of the paper. Now that feather isn't. What I did is I found a feather image on the internet. I converted into a cut file with my Sure Cuts a Lot software and my Photoshop software. And then I imported that cut file into the Cricut, and I use felt paper to cut out my black, it's not felt, black suede paper. I use black suede paper to cut out the feather. So it's that's a good technique to use. Feathers are in now. Unfortunately, I don't live where a local craft store that will have these things. So I tend to do a lot of my own embellishment because I don't have the ability to buy them here. So I kind of figure out how to create the same look, but at home. So now I'm just putting down one of the layers. Because these are original pictures, I'm going to use clear photo corners to adhere it down. And the good thing about the clear photo corners is that it doesn't distract from your page design, and so you don't even see you have them, but you don't have to use adhesive on your original pictures. So there, now I want to put something on. I figured I needed a layer for the side. So I go ahead and I go into my embellishment bin and I cut out a little bingo card there, and I'm going to put that on the side. And now I'm going to figure out where I'm going to put my feathers, and I'm fiddling around with my feathers because I'm trying to figure out what's the best position where the feather will be touching the picture but not covering somebody's face. So that's why I was kind of trying to figure out where to put it. So now I'm just putting the bingo card. Now I'm gonna go ahead and place my um, my embellishments, and my journaling block is going there, and then I'm gonna put family and friend is gonna be my title. And again, these are part of the paper, all these letters and sayings. So I just mainly backed it up with my shirt box to make it a little more sturdy. But now I'm going to start adhering it down. And by the way, I love that glue runner that I have. I'm not sure who makes it. I found it in the clearance section in Hobby Lobby, and it really works very well. It adheres everything down pretty good. So now I'm looking for more kind of layers and more embellishment. I felt that I needed something there to ground the family and friend. But then I found this little owl, which was part of an icon on the paper. So I'm cutting it out. And then I'm going to put some foam adhesive and pop it off the page. And now I like that better look. So now I'm just kind of figuring out some more embellishment. I think to me, I needed kind of more embellishments on the right hand side. So I found this clock and I cut it in half and I adhered it on the page. But then if you notice, you can see the cut part of the clock underneath the picture. So eventually I'm going to find something else. I find a vintage typewriter, which I use to cover that area. So here those playing cards are part of the paper. So I adhered it down next to the title or the little saying say life is good. And I'm still trying to figure out how to cover that cut part of my clock. So that's when I found this vintage typewriter and I decided to put that there. I thought it kind of went with the overall design of my page. So I'm placing the doily. I almost forgot. Usually I like if I cut a doily and put it on the top of a layout, I like to kind of do the same, put the other half of the doily on the bottom. And that's what I do there. Now I'm trying to figure out which date stamp I'm going to use. And I'm not sure who makes these stamps. I tend to buy a lot of stuff on discount, so this date stamp was at one of my craft stores, but I tend to throw away the package and not know who makes it. So now I kind of needed something there to cover between the happiness and smile. So I found I just at the end I choose this airplane, which I cut out and adhered on that space. And since I don't back it with cardstock, when I put the glue, it looks like it was printed on the page. It's almost like a rub-on because the paper is so thin that if you use glue stick and then really press it down, it's almost like it's part of the page. So I'm done with the layout. So I'm going to go over everything I've done. So there's the family. There's some more of that design from the paper that I cut up and used as part of my embellishment. My little owl with the feathers that I downloaded the image and converted. And it really gives a nice little look to the page, especially with the owl underneath it, or on top of it. So I really like my feathers. And I think I'm going to create more with the different pattern paper and also with vellum. I think that will look very cute throughout these pages or throughout my album. So there's my little bingo card that I kind of stuffed underneath on the side. Kind of create that cluster. And then my clock with the typewriter. And I make sure that nothing is really touching the picture. So the typewriter is on foam adhesive, but it does not touch the picture. So that way I'll still preserve the my originals and not damage them. Okay, so that's a nice little cluster there. And then next to it I have the date and a little area for journaling. And then the rest of my cluster, so a lot of this is from the paper pad that I cut out and backed with cardstock or with a cardstock shirt. There's my airplanes. Half of that other clock goes there. And all my stitching, as you can see, around the page. And that's pretty much it. So I hope you liked the tutorial and come back to see me for some more, and thank you for watching.